topic of my presentation is revolutionizing the IT landscape, integration and impact of computing. So I will be discussing on this topic. We will learn about basics of the cloud computing, and then we will discuss the impact of the cloud computing and how they are integrated in, especially in this modern era of computers. So my main title is revolutionizing the IT landscape, the integration and impact of cloud computing. So I have subtitle so that we can integrate both of them, and that is the embracing the future of technology. Obviously this is IT technology. I am Dr. Hashim Ali, Assistant Professor Computer Science Department at Abdul Wali Khan University, Ardan. So we will introduction to the cloud computing. So actually cloud computing refers to the delivery of computing services over the internet, providing access to a shared pool of computing resources, and these resources are servers or storage resources, or they can be a database resource, or it can be a networking resource, it can be a software resource, or any application resource which are being provided over the internet. And obviously they are provided based on the request presented by the end user or the application developer. And normally it is a paradigm in which services are being charged on the usage basis. So we call it that pay as you go basis. So we will discuss about the evolution of the cloud computing, that how it evolved during different era of the computing. So early computing era is there, then we have got the internet era and virtualization, then we have got the birth of cloud computing, and then growth and adaptation, and then we have got era of the cloud computing, that is hybrid and multi-cloud era. And then we will discuss a bit about current trends and future outlook. So in modern early era of computing era for the cloud computing, it basically goes to the generations of the computer in which specifically to the second and third generation of the computer, which laid the basis for the cloud computing, where the mainframe computers were introduced in the third or fourth generation. Actually, the servers which were able to provide services. Then came in late 90s the internet, and the concept of the virtualization was introduced in early 2000. So this internet era and virtualization, they actually gave the way or pathway to the birth of the cloud computing, and people were diverted towards the cloud computing, and people started to adopt the new paradigm of the computing, that was the computing. Then we have got different models available for the cloud. We have got the private cloud or the public cloud, and amalgamation of the both were rated as the hybrid cloud. And then we have got the current trends and future outlook. So we will discuss that in the upcoming slide. Importance in modern IT infrastructure is when we look about the importance of the cloud computing in the scenario of the modern infrastructure. So we talk about the agility and scalability. Obviously, everyone knows how much important is the agility and the scalability. Then we look for the cost efficiency. Then we talk about specifically in IT infrastructure about the global accessibility or global reach or accessibility. And then we definitely important thing is security and compliance. So we will talk about each individually. First one is the agility and scalability. So these are the services provided, or this is the service provided by the cloud computing, which provides on-demand access to the scalable computing resource, allowing organization to quickly scale up or down to meet changing business demands. So we call it them as this is the agility and the scalability in terms of the modern IT infrastructure, which is being provided by the cloud computing paradigm. Then we talk about the cost efficiency. So cloud computing offers, as we have discussed earlier, that whatever the services are provided, they are on-demand services, and these on-demand services are pay-as-you-go pricing model. This concept is there where organization only pay for the resources and services they use. So there is no nothing like there is something maintenance or infrastructure maintenance sort of scenario. Only you are just using the resources, or you are just utilizing the services, and you are paying price for those resources. So cloud computing actually offers a pay as you go pricing model where organization pay only for the resources and services they use. Obviously, it eliminates the capital invested in the infrastructure, because we provide services which are not being acquired by the individual organizations or individual businesses or individual IT infrastructure available at different organizations. So these resources are provided by the cloud infrastructure, and they are charged for the usage of the resource. Then we have got the global reach and accessibility. So cloud computing is obviously the main theme of the cloud computing is that it is available globally. So global reach and accessibility, where organization are where cloud computing allows the organization to reach the customer and user who are available worldwide, regardless of their geographical location. So with data center located in multiple regions, the cloud providers offer low latency access to applications and services. So this not only improves the user experience, and also enables seamless collaboration and communication across the data centers. And then we talk about the security and compliance. So importance of the cloud computing in terms of the in terms of the provision of the security and compliance. Sorry, my slide is available because I have not changed yet any slide. So I will change my slide because I've received a message. So I will change my slide once it is
So
necessary.
slides, sir.
I'm not
We
changing
can
my
see your
slides.
slide, but I think yeah, it's
No, I'm not changing the slide. I have got only
not changing,
nine
I think.
slides. So I am discussing in detail each point in my slide. So don't worry about that. Okay.
Okay, sir. You are now in the introduction to cloud computing slides, right? Introduction to
Yes,
cloud
I am
computing.
in the introduction
Yeah,
of the
okay,
cloud
sir. Then it's
computing, and currently I'm discussing. Yes, yes. I'm last point. I'm discussing the last point:
security and
importance in modern
compliance.
global
Yeah, sir.
and security
Yeah.
and compliance. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. We can see it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Sure. Thank you. Okay. Providers invest heavily in security technologies, so processes and compliance certification. So this is only to protect our data, and prevent also it prevents the unauthorized access. Security and compliance, starting with scalability, then cost efficiency, then the global accessibility, and then the security and compliance. This actually defines the importance of the cloud computing in the modern IT infrastructure. So now moving to the second slide of my presentation. So basis of the cloud computing, or the key components in cloud computing, they are the different cloud deployment models. Like for example, we have got the private cloud or public cloud, and then we have got the combination of both the clouds, that is we call it the hybrid cloud. And then we have got the cloud service models, in which we have got the different services provided by the cloud model, that are the infrastructure as a service or platform as a service, the different services provided, or software as a service or function as a service. Nowadays we have got another new trend coming out in the as a service, that is the storage as a service, even networking as a service. So these are the different services provided by the cloud infrastructure. We will discuss each one in detail. First one is the infrastructure as a service. This is a model in which the infrastructure resources, actually the resources are being provided by the cloud infrastructure to the end user. So end user is not they are not going to purchase the resources, or they are not going to care about the infrastructure. They will be only using those resources, and those resources will be provided as a service to the individuals in the form of the infrastructure as a service. And then we will go towards the platform. So again, as infrastructure is provided, there are different platforms available, and those platforms are also being offered as a service. So we call it that this is the platform as a service, where we have got the development platform or deploying platform, or if we are going to manage applications without the without being involving in the complexity of building and maintaining a particular infrastructure. Just we are going to provide the platform, and that particular platform is provided to the end user. Then we another service provided by the cloud service model is the software as a service, in which different applications are available over the internet, and they are available based on the subscription basis. Like for example, you are using the Netflix or any other available resources as a software. So these are actually these are the software as a service. Then we have got the function as a service, where the computing model allows developer to deploy individual functions, or for example, there is a part of code available, so in response to a particular event. So these services are provided in the form of the function as a service. Other services provided by the other in the form of the component of cloud computing are the storage as a service, where storages are actually provided, or in some networking resources required. So that networking resource is also provided over the cloud. And obviously we have discussed about the security, so security can be provided as a service. Now moving to the third slide of my presentation. So that is the advantages of cloud computing, why we will be moving, or we will be going towards the cloud computing. So there are few advantages of using the cloud computing, that is the scalability and flexibility. Already we have discussed that if businesses, or there are some growth in the business, and so we want to scale out that particular business, or for example a computing resource is required, and that resource is required in the form of that it should be a scalable computing resource. So businesses are actually allowed to use that particular property of the cloud computing, in which they can expand their business, or they can reduce, either they can scale up or they can scale down that particular computing resource. So we say this is scalability and flexibility, which is being provided by the cloud computing environment. Then we talk about the cost efficiency, because this is infrastructure less service which is being received by the end user. So we said that there is a lot of cost saving in terms of using the cloud computing scenario. So it eliminates the significance of investments, particularly in the form of the investments in the form of the hardware infrastructure, or if in some cases licensing issues in software, or other maintenance costs associated with the on-premises IT environment. So in these cost efficiency is provided to the end user, because they are not going to pay for the licensing of the software. They're not going to pay for the maintenance cost of the IT infrastructure locally available, because these all things are provided as a service to the end user. So we said cost efficiency or cost saving is achieved when we are utilizing or using the cloud computing cloud computing paradigm. Then we have got the accessibility and mobility. So we have got discussed about the global accessibility and mobility of the, it can be access, the service can be used by anyone who has got the access to the internet, so he or she can easily utilize that particular resource or that particular service as a service. Obviously, enhanced security is another important thing in terms of using the cloud computing. So because end users are not they are not even, we can say, they are not scared of being of using by using the cloud computing paradigm. So they are 100% sure that end users are restricted or any other unauthorized access to their application or usability by the third party is restricted within the cloud computing domain. So we say that it provides the enhanced security in terms of if we are using the cloud computing paradigm. Disaster recovery and business continuity. So a robust disaster management, recovery and data protection capability is provided by the cloud computing. So again, this is an advantage of using the cloud computing, or it includes the automated especially includes automated backups or redundant infrastructure, because if we are using the cloud infrastructure, so we are not relying on a single resource. There are backup resources available, so we can shift to, if a particular resource is not available, so it can be shifted or migrated to another resource available within the cloud domain. So redundant infrastructure is there. And nowadays we have got the geographical cloud models. So geographically dispersed, we have got the geographically dispersed data centers. A good example of that is the usage of the Google platform. So Google is actually dispersed at different locations, and it allows the end user to utilize that Google infrastructure geographically. So business continuity is there, data recovery is there, and these are the advantages of using the cloud computing. We have got more other advantages of using the cloud computing as well as, for example, in my diagram, there are dynamic scaling, shared resources, pay-as-you-go model. We have discussed about that, increased mobility. In the previous slide, we have also discussed that important thing in by of using the cloud computing is the high availability of cloud computing. Cloud computing is available 24/7 and 365 days based model, so it is available all the time. And obviously it is easy to manage and environment friendly. And the important thing of using cloud computing is the low or less deployment. It takes a low or no deployment time is required to host your application over the cloud infrastructure. Now moving to the another slide, that is the integration of cloud computing. Just I'm giving you the basics of how cloud computing is utilized in the modern era, and this will allow you to have a picture of why to use and when to use or how to use the cloud computing environment, in both in terms of the usage of the cloud computing and in terms of the research paradigm. So for the research paradigm, this slide is important, that is integration of the cloud computing. So when we say integration of the cloud computing, we have got different migration strategies available, and these migration strategies are available. They are because we want to achieve maximum out of the cloud resources. So there are different migration strategies available, that is lift and shift strategy. Then we have got the re-platforming strategy. Then we have got the refactoring strategy. Then we have got the hybrid and multi-cloud approaches, the amalgamation of the public and private cloud scenario. And then we have got the integration with existing system. And then we have got the adaptation and changes of the adaptation challenges and the solutions being provided, why, how, why and when to adopt a particular migration service, or and when, what are the possible challenges, and what are the challenges, and what are the possible solutions to that. So starting with the migration strategy, cloud migration strategy, there are different type of migration strategies. I've just mentioned three in the diagram. If you can see, there are many others: refactoring, repurchasing, replatforming, retiring, retaining, and rehosting. So we will start with a few, or we will discuss a few of them. The first one is the lift and shift. Lift and shift migration strategy allows you to pick or select a particular task or job which is being executed at the cloud, within the cloud infrastructure, and we just migrate that particular job or task from one server, for example, that is hosted at a particular server. So we are going to actually lift that particular job from that particular from a server and shift it to another resource. So we call it this migration strategy, related to that it is a lift and shift strategy. Then we have got the replatforming. Replatforming is actually the change in the architecture. Replatforming and refactoring are actually same thing, but just approach is different. In refactoring, we design the application according to the cloud infrastructure, but in replatforming, we just move the application to a specific resource which is according to the service. So one migration strategy is that replatform that application which requests the use of the a resource within the cloud domain. So we re-platform that resource from one place to another. But in refactoring, we we design our application so that it can be accommodated as per the architecture of the cloud infrastructure. Then we have the different models to execute that. We have got the hybrid, that is public cloud, which is available to all. Then we have got the private cloud, which is only available to a limited or allowed community, where distribution of workload across the multiple in hybrid cloud or multi-cloud scenario. The distribution of workload is across multiple clouds providers, or combining cloud services with on-premises infrastructure, which helps you to reduce dependency on a single vendor, or and also it also increases the flexibility and resilience. So we can utilize that multi and hybrid cloud approach as well. Then we have got the integration with the existing system. We integrate the cloud computing with the existing system, and then adaptation challenges and solutions. So either we will be going for the replatforming or refactoring, or we will be retaining some applications, or we will be suspending some application that is retiring, or we can shift one host to another host, which is rehosting technique, sorry. Or we can refactor or re-platform it in terms of the architecture, or we can repurchase a particular resource. So because the task or our job requires that resource for more time, so we go for the repurchasing. This allows you to implement cloud migration strategies so that we can achieve maximum performance and maximum efficiency out of by utilizing or by integrating the cloud computing scenario. So I hope this is clear about the integration of cloud computing. We have discussed about the migration strategies and basic. There are three migration strategies, and we can go for other approaches as well. Then impact on the businesses. Important thing, if we are using or why we are using the cloud infrastructure. So there are different impacts of there is an impact on businesses in terms of the cost savings, the impact of using the cloud computing in terms of scalability and flexibility. It allows you the agility is there, and it allows you again, it allows global reach on and accessibility, and business continuity and disaster recovery. And again, it helps you to collaborate with it helps you collaboration, and it also allows remote work. And it also provides different businesses a competitive environment, irrespective a business is a larger business or a business is a small business. So it allows you allows different businesses to come to this same platform or same market, and they can competitive advantage is also an impact on the services provided by the cloud computing. So other impact on the businesses can be that enhanced compliance is there, security is there. Obviously, you've got the scalability, so we are also looking for the business, that whether we can scale it out or we can scale it up or we can scale it down. Obviously, we are going for the cost saving. So if you are going for the cost benefit analysis in terms of the businesses, so cloud platform is one of the thing, or one of the paradigm which allows you to have a good return on investment in terms of the cost savings. So these are the impact on businesses of integrating cloud computing by utilizing the IT infrastructure. Future trends and other if for example, if you are looking at the cloud computing, so there are different things available in terms of the future trends, that is edge computing, modern day computing, mobile devices which are available at the edge of the cloud infrastructure. This is a logical line drawn between the cloud and infrastructure and near to the cloud infrastructure. So modern day computing is again shifting towards two important paradigms, that one is the edge or the fog computing, and the second one is the serviceless computing, and quantum, the third one is the quantum computing. So all these are being actually these are the available domains which are now integrating with the cloud computing paradigm. And good examples of these are the IoT, Internet of Things and Internet of Vehicles. Now we have got dependency or of dependency over the utilization of the serviceless computing or edge computing or content computing. And obviously, because the world is going towards the adaptation of the artificial intelligence and machine learning integration, so cloud computing paradigm allows you to adopt specifically in terms of deep learning. So we have got a lot to do in terms of the AI and machine learning integration within the cloud paradigm. And obviously, there is a continued growth of cloud service market as days are progressing. The integration of the cloud service market is improving, and there is a continuous growth in terms of service market. So these are the future trends in cloud computing, and how we can implement cloud, or for what purpose, or how we will consider a cloud computing to be utilized within a business. So we are looking for data security and compliance. Then we are looking for vendor lock-in. Then we are looking for the performance and reliability, staff training and skills development, and last but not least, that is continuous monitoring and optimization. So there are different challenges. We have to look for those challenges, and there are different considerations for cloud computing implementation in businesses. So these are the few challenges and consideration. First one is the security. Second one is the integration, that how we will integrate cloud computing in with our application. Then we have got the cost. Then we will look for the, or we will consider the performance, and then we will look for the vendor lock-in, where different vendor evaluations, accessing migration strategies, and developing exit plans can help organization anticipate and mitigate potential vendor lock-in risk before committing to a particular cloud provider. So we will look for that vendor lock-in, and that last but not least, that is the compliance. So these are the considerations for implementing or for migrating or for going towards the cloud computing paradigm. So in conclusion, we have discussed about the basics of the cloud computing. Then we have looked for the impact of the cloud computing. Then we have discussed briefly about the migration strategies within the cloud computing. Then we have talked about the future or trends by adopting the cloud computing. So the open up, gear up the modern and IT infrastructure, utilization of the cloud computing in modern IT infrastructure. It both allows you to utilize cloud in the form for scaling up or scaling down the businesses, or it open up new challenges by adopting the, for example, by integrating the service-less computing or the quantum computing or the edge computing. So either in terms of the research direction, so we can utilize those basic challenges or the common challenges in cloud computing for further research are the privacy and data security, which is important, or cost management, multi-cloud environments, performance challenges, and obviously we are going for the portability. So these are the cloud computing challenges which will open a few new directions. I will give an example. For example, if you are working at the infrastructure level, so resource scheduling, where we have discussed about the migration strategies. So resource scheduling, so designing an algorithm for how to migrate a resource from one server to another server. So if you are good at designing an algorithm which can give you efficiency in terms of low time or redundancy, for example, migration policy you can adopt, which can be at local or which can be at global scenario. Efficient algorithm where one application is migrated from one host to another host. So this is one of the future direction which can be further studied and investigated. So in terms of the performance challenges in the cloud computing paradigm. So these are the future opportunities and challenges, and we have discussed about the importance of the embracing cloud computing. So if any questions are there, so I'm available for that question answer scenario.
Thank you, Dr. Hashim, for your enlightening presentations. And you have any questions or comments for Dr. Hashim Ali before we move forward?